Hello, my name is Doug O'Brien. I'm Assistant Principal here at Penrice Academy. As we get close to GCSE Results Day on the 20th of August, I want to take a brief opportunity to explain a little bit more about how those results have been calculated and to talk briefly about how we're going to go about making sure our results day is as safe as it possibly can be. Following on from the cancellation of the summer exam series, schools and colleges across the country were asked to provide centre-assessed grades for all of the students that would have been taking exams in the summer. And alongside those grades, schools were also asked to provide a rank order of candidates. Now, we as a school have taken this process really seriously, and we've come up with a very robust and evidence-based approach to make sure that the grades that we award to those students who've missed out on taking their exams this summer are as accurate, fair and robust as they possibly can be. All of those decisions are rooted firmly in evidence that we have available to us. So I'm going to talk briefly through how we went about determining those grades that we then sent off to the exam boards. Our process to determine those grades took 3 key stages, and the first stage was to collect all of the assessment data from PPEs and other standardised assessments that we held about each of our students in every one of their subjects. We also looked at historical trends about how much progress students make between their PPEs and the summer exam series. So we took those 2 pieces of evidence, calculated grades of where students were at their PPEs and how much progress they make after their PPEs on average historically at Penrice, and from that we were able to determine a calculated grade for each student in every subject. The second stage of our process was to take those centrally calculated grades and to share them with our subject teams. We know that some students make more progress than others between their PPEs and the summer exams for a whole variety of reasons, and we wanted to take that into account. So we asked our subject teams to look really carefully at all of the sources of evidence that they have available to them to determine who those students might be. And we then asked them to adjust any grades that they felt would be different in the real exam series. All of those adjustments required at least 2 members of staff to agree on them, and they were firmly rooted in evidence that staff had available to them. The professional judgment and the evidence base collected by our subject teams suggested that the vast majority of those calculated grades were really very accurate, and only a very small number of students had their grades adjusted at this stage. The final stage of our process was to take those adjusted grades and to run them through our data analysis systems to see how those grades compare to previous years at Penrice. We know that students historically at Penrice perform very highly. Our cohort last year were the highest attaining state school in the county, put them in the top 7% nationally, and it was our firm view that the current Year 11 were on track to match that year group. So we compared the results generated by our calculations and the adjustments made by our staff to those previous cohorts, and they compared very similarly, so we were happy to proceed with the grades that we determined. The centre-assessed grades that we submitted to the exam boards and awarding organisations are not the final results that students will receive on results day. Instead, the awarding organisations will take the results that we submitted and run them through a standardisation process. The aim of that process is to make sure that any schools that have submitted grades that are too generous in comparison to previous years will have those results moderated down. And similarly, if schools have submitted results that the exam boards determine are too harsh, those grades will be increased. If an awarding organisation determines that a school has been too generous in their grading, say for instance they've submitted too many grade 4s in a particular subject area in comparison to their results from previous years, they'll look at the rank order of students generated by that school, and they'll take the students that the school have ranked at the bottom of that grade and adjust their grades accordingly to, say, a grade 3 in this example. That process may seem quite harsh, but it's really important that exam boards standardise the results across the country to make sure that the grades hold the same weight in comparison to previous years. As with any other year of exams, there are going to be some students who are disappointed in the exam result that they get. It might not be what they hoped for. So it's really important that you know what the next steps are for you if that is the case. The first thing that we would recommend students do if they've got a result that's lower than they'd hoped for is to get in touch with the college or the sixth form that they've applied to for next year. It's really important to talk to the college about what grades you've actually got and to make sure that they've explained fully what the implications of that are. It may well be that despite the fact those grades are lower than you'd hoped for, they may still be good enough in the current circumstances to get you onto the college course that you want for next year. So the first port of call is definitely the college and the sixth form. And of course, on results day, there will be lots of staff available at Penrice to talk through your next steps with you and give you all the help and support that you need. One of the things that I wanted to briefly discuss with you is the appeals process, because it's quite different to how it would normally operate. Schools are able to appeal results if they believe there's been an administrative error or a processing error by the exam body when they've statistically standardised the results. So we'll thoroughly check all of the results when we receive them to make sure that any errors are picked up, and obviously we hope that there are no errors at all, but if there are, we'll be able to appeal those grades quickly and tell you about them on results day. Schools are also able to appeal grades if they believe that the cohort of Year 11s that they've got this year are vastly different to previous years, which are used as the benchmark in the standardisation model. Now, we believe that our cohort this year is very similar, so we think it's quite unlikely that we would appeal on that basis, but if we feel the need to, we have that option. The government have announced that if students receive a calculated grade from the awarding organisation that's lower than a PPE result they received earlier in the year, they are able to lodge an appeal. We'll make sure that we check through all of the results to see if that applies to any of our students in any particular subjects. We'll get in touch with you if that is the case. Students are not able to appeal the centre assessed grades submitted by a school. Unfortunately, there's nobody better placed than the school to judge whether that grade is accurate, so Ofqual and the exam boards have determined that there is no process by which an appeal could be lodged. If students are unhappy with grades that they've received, there is the opportunity to sit the exams in the autumn term. There will be an additional exam series running from the 2nd of November to the 23rd of November, and students are able to apply to sit exams in that period. It's really important to note that that exam period will be exactly the same as a summer exam period. The level of difficulty of the papers will be the same, the level of revision required to get ready for them will be the same. It's our firm view that if students don't fully prepare for those exams as they would have done in the summer, then it's very unlikely that they will achieve a grade higher than the calculated grade by the exam boards and by us. If students are thinking about taking exams in that series, we would highly recommend you speak to us as quickly as possible. There's a very short turnaround between results day and when entries for that exam period have to be made, so please let us know as quickly as you can. There will be members of the leadership team available on results day to discuss that with. If you're not in on results day, then please email our exams officer who can talk you through that process in a bit more detail. But be really clear, it's a firm commitment from you, if you are intending to take that exam, to fully prepare and revise to make sure that you get a better grade than you have done from the calculated result given to you by the exam body. As I've said before, there will be lots of help and support available to our students on results day to discuss their results if they're unhappy with them and what their next steps would be. If you're not able to attend results day, then please get in touch with us and we can help out, as can the colleges and the sixth form providers that students may have applied to. The final thing I want to discuss with you is what results day actually looks like. So it's happening on Thursday the 20th of August. Students have been assigned a time to arrive at school to collect their results, and that's organised by tutor group. So please can you ensure that if you are intending to come in for results day, you arrive at the specified time for your tutor group. That's the only time that you'll be able to collect results on that day. If you're not able to come into school on that day, then please get in touch with our exams officer who'll be able to arrange for the results to be emailed to you. In addition to the staggered tutor times, we're also asking for some additional things to be done. Students need to maintain a 2-metre social distance whilst they're on the site. They'll be asked to sanitise their hands upon arrival and minimise their contact with other students. We're also asking that parents don't come onto the site to reduce the number of people and the likely chances of contacts happening. It's important to remember that this year only the named student on the exam results can collect those results. You're not able to come and collect your child's results, they need to do it in person, please. If they're not able to do that, then please get in touch with our exams officer who can arrange for the results to be emailed to you. We're really looking forward to seeing you for one final time Year 11 on results day. We hope that the results that you get are what you've been hoping for and that you're pleased with them and reward all the hard work and determination that you've shown this year. If you've got any questions about Results Day or the process, then please don't hesitate to get in touch with us over the coming weeks. There is a letter that accompanies this video that's got some more details and some links to some documents that you might want to have a look at as well from Ofqual and the awarding organisations. We'll see you on Results Day. Thank you for watching.